Yo, this your boy EC22 of the Fair Weather Fan channel, man. Listen, thank you guys for tuning into this video, man. I appreciate everything that you guys have done, watching videos, man, being a part of this community, man. But once again, man, if you're not a part of the community, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, be a part of the conversation, man. I would really appreciate and help this channel grow. But once again, be reminded, next week, next Tuesday, is the cash giveaway. So if you're not a subscriber on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please jump on over to YouTube, Fair Weather Fan YouTube, and just subscribe to the channel, and then you can be in line for this cash giveaway. Anyway, with that being said, let's jump into some sports news real quick, man. First of all, I wanted to say my prayers, my thoughts, my concerns, my well wishes are to Bronny James, the son of LeBron James. If you don't know, he suffered a cardiac arrest today. Reports are saying that he's out of ICU. He's doing well. He's being monitored, I assume, at this time. Kudos to the training staff at his college, and pray that he get well soon and see him on the basketball court. I don't know what's been going on with these young men who don't have any health issues are now getting these cardiac arrests. And I don't believe that all this has to do with no COVID shot. I know a lot of these folks are trying to throw that narrative out there, and I'm not getting in that conversation. I just don't believe that what it is, but it's got to be something. But it's not no COVID shot. All right. Anyway, thoughts and prayers to with Bronny James. Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics, man. Listen, this dude got paid. Show me the money, Jaylen. Jaylen, I need you to buy me a car. Jaylen Brown has got, let's just say it this way, he is the highest paid athlete in NFL. Oh, not NFL, but NBA. I'm sorry. The highest paid player in the NBA. $304 million for a 5-year contract. I don't know all the particulars as far as what's guaranteed or not, but $304 million for a 5-year extension on his contract, or a 5-year contract, whatever. That's a super max in my mind. That's a lot of money. So what I'm suggesting, or what I'm thinking, that when it comes down to Jason Tatum getting his money, they're going to be the only two guys on their squad. It's going to be the Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum show, and they're going to get a bunch of guys out of the draft. So this year is the year to win it. Anyway, that's just my opinion about that. Trayvon Diggs got a 5-year extension for the Dallas Cowboys worth $97 million, $21 million signing bonus, and a guaranteed $42 million. Good job, Trayvon Diggs. So now, Cowboys, Zach Martin has not showed up in training camp. Get him paid. Get him paid. He's the number one. You'll see on the top 10. He made number one on the top 10 when it come down to the guards, the center's position. Get him paid, Cowboys. Come on with it. Don't hold off any longer. Now, since we just talked about the top 10, let's go ahead and dive into the top 10 as far as what ESPN is concerned. Jumping on 10 to the wide receivers, as you can see the list. Some of you who can't see the list, if you're on Apple's podcast, I'll call out a few of them for you. Justin Jeffers is number one wide receiver for both ESPN and CBS. And then it kind of goes, back and forth with the number, but for the most part, they got all the players on the list, save a few. Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf. I don't agree with Terry McLaurin, whatever, and C.D. Lamb. That is what ESPN and CBS have up there. Let's jump into see what we, the Fair Weather Fan, who we have on our list as top 10. I got number one, Tyreek Hill. Number two, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, C.D. Lamb. Yes, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, need to be on the list, and A.J. Brown. Yes, in that order. Could argue about it later on, but that is my top 10 for the Fair Weather Fan channel. We saw what ESPN and CBS got out there. That's the list. That's what I'm sticking with. Let's move on to the other list out there. The running back position. As you can see, ESPN, CBS, Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler. Some of those names they go back and forth on. Austin Eckler is not. Oh, he is on the list. Who is it? Is not on. Well, Alvin Kamara didn't make CBS list. But anyway, this is their list. Uh, but let me show you my list. Y'all can see this list, and I'm gonna show you my list and how it should be. Boom. As you can see, Derrick Henry should be the number one running back on the list. Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb. Yes, Travis Etienne need to be on that list. Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, and Aaron Jones. The reason why, because I don't know if Dalvin Cook, until he find a job, he do not need to be on this list. And that's just my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I don't know if Saquon Barkley, he's holding out. I mean, he should, but he's not on my list. I don't just that's what that is, and I'm leaving it at that. All right. Moving on to the other list. All right, offensive tackle. Obviously, when it comes down to linemen and stuff like that, linemen, and I don't know too much about the positions, but I'm just going to be honest with you. So I am not too mad about this list. What I am mad about this list is that Tyron Smith did not make ESPN list, and he's ranked so high on CBS. So I'm going to roll, and I say I will pick the CBS list. Trent Williams at number 2, Tyron Smith and Trent Williams number 1, Tyron Smith at number 2, and then I guess the rest are okay. Going on to the guards and center position. Obviously, Zach Martin is the reason why I hold it out. He is number 1 on both ESPN, CBS, as well as my list. And then, the list kind of fluctuate as you see the list out there. For those who can't see it, if you're on Apple Podcasts, Zach Martin, number 1, Joe Thuney, whatever, number 2, Quentin Nelson, number 3, Elgin Jenkins, number 4, Joel Bitonio, number 5, Jason Kelsey is number 6, Chris Lindstrom, number 7, Creed Humphrey, number 8, Brandon Sheriff, number 9, and Frank Ragnar is number 10. And like I say, you got a few players here or there would come down to CBS, but that's just that. Let's move on to the QB position. See, ESPN and nobody disagrees with the QB position. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford. These lists are pretty much similar. There's a few positions that flop, but ESPN had Matt Stafford at number 10. CBS had Deshaun Watson at number 10. I can go with either one of those players, but the only position, a number that I disagree with, I think Dak should be ranked higher than Trevor Lawrence. Dak should be 8. Lawrence should be number 9. Going on to the tight end position. Listen, this list is pretty much solid. I ain't no sense to me arguing with the list. Travis Kelce, number 1, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, Darren Waller, TJ Hockenson, Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram, Pat Fairmouth, I guess how you say his name, and Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is not on CBS list, so therefore I will go with ESPN list. I don't know why. And David Njoku is not on ESPN list. So if I had to trade a player, because I like David Njoku, Kyle Dalton Schultz made the list for ESPN as well. So Darren Waller we'll have to move on. And I would say maybe Evan Ingram. But to add Dalton Schultz and David Njoku. But anyway, move on from the tight end position. Let's get into the linebacker position, the defensive positions. Like I say, we come down to the men in the middle, the big boys. I'm going to defer to these lists because those are players I really don't know too much about. Fred Warner made number 1 linebacker on both squads. You got Raekwon Smith and Bobby Wagner, Tremont Edmonds, and his list go back and forth. I'm rolling with ESPN list on that, if you can see it. The defensive tackle position, obviously, Aaron Donald and Chris Jones is the only names you need to see. Everybody else is what it is. So Aaron Donald, number 1, and Chris Jones, number 2. That's all you need to see on this list. I'm cool with whatever they got out there. The defensive end position, once again, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, Michael Parsons, TJ Watt. Those are your 1 through 4. Both got on their list. They're on my list. Von Miller made 6 on the ESPN. He made number 9 Von Miller made number 6 on CBS and number 9 on ESPN. Joey Bosa made ESPN but did not make CBS. So that's the only issues I have with the defensive end position. So I'll roll with ESPN because Joey Bosa definitely need to be on that list. And the safety position, let's get to the DBs. Michael Fitzpatrick, Derwin James, they fluctuate on ESPN as well as CBS. Justin Simmons, Buda Baker, Javon Holler, Jesse Bates III, Kevin Beard, CJ Gardner Johnson, Teleno Hafanaga, and Anthony Winfield Jr. CJ Gardner Johnson has been injured. So we don't know if she's continue to be on his list. He made ESPN, but did not make CBS list. So I don't think there's a big issue right there. So I think the top three right there between Michael Fitzpatrick, Derwin James, Justin Simmons, and Buda Baker. And the last but not least, let's look at the cornerback positions. Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Darius Slay, Marlon Humphreys, Marshawn Lattimore, Trayvon Diggs, Denzel Ward, and AJ Terrell. I like this list. Look like there's a few players that CBS didn't pick up besides ESPN, like Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Horn. Other than that, they have a few guys that are the same, as well as they got DJ Reed, ESPN don't have. So because they got Trayvon Diggs ranked higher, I'm going with this list with CBS. And y'all, that is it for those predictions. Y'all, listen, this has been no news when it comes down to the running back position and how they have been, in some eyes, mistreated, disrespected, and becoming almost a position that you can get a dime a dozen. I've been hearing both sides of the story. I don't know where I fit in it because there's valid points to make on both sides. Before I get into my thoughts, I'm going to let you listen to what Ryan Clark had to say yesterday on First Take.
First off, I want to apologize to all of the players in the NFL, all of the running backs. As a former executive board member and vice president of the NFLPA, before I speak, I am apologizing. I'm on here with two non-players who think that the running back position is treated unfairly, and I disagree. When you look at the CBA, these are the rules that have been negotiated and collectively bargained by the NFLPA. So these are the rules that are going to govern each and every player on an NFL roster. Now, I had a friend, Jimmy Smith, who covers LSU here, who said, I believe that running backs should have an opportunity for arbitration. I believe that too. They should be able to have a discussion before they get to the tender or the franchise tag situation that allows them to get more money. But I'm going to tell you why the running back position is not treated unfairly. I'm going to point to Todd Gurley. Christian McCaffrey didn't finish his contract out in Carolina. He is now a San Francisco 49er. One thing about all of those contracts that were big, that were deserved, that were earned, none of them ended up in the championship. So if I'm a team, I'm looking at the rest of the NFL and saying, when you do pay a running back big time money, what does it get you in wins? What does it get you in championships? And the answer to that recently is nothing. Now, I'm going to tell you why running backs are the running backs' biggest problem. Dameon Pierce, Houston Texans, 4th round draft pick, a guy that alternated at Florida, is an absolute stud as a rookie in Houston with Davis Mills playing quarterback, so you know he had stacked boxes. The championship team, the team that won it all, they have a late round draft pick in Isaiah Pacheco that becomes the bell cow of that offense. Think about Derrick Henry, a 2nd round draft pick. Jonathan Taylor, a 2nd round draft pick. Tony Pollard, a guy who was making us have this discussion, was a 4th round draft pick on a team that was paying a running back the most money in the entire league at the position, and ends up being a better player than him. That tells me I can find running backs and I don't have to draft them in the 1st round. I don't have to pay them $90 million. If they get a little long in the tooth, if they want a little bit too much money, I could go draft another one and I ain't got to pick him first. I want you to think, one more thing, before I let you go, Stephen A.
Sure, because I'm coming right up.
We talked about this on Get Up. All but one quarterback that will be starting in the AFC is a first-round draft pick, which tells me you either need to draft a guy or you got to pay a guy for that position. It's not the same for running backs. And I want them to get paid too, but there's a reason that they aren't.
So this kind of mirrors a few weeks ago. I was watching the podcast Faith Talk Radio with Louis Medford, the professor, as well as Martez Turner, coach. And they're pretty much mirroring what RC just said is the exact same thing they said on that podcast. So obviously this is no new thing. This is what the fans has been looking at. This is what the owner's been looking at. Obviously, as Ryan Clark stated, this is what's part of the CBA. So, and maybe this is the future. I'm just concerned because you look at, as Ryan Clark pointed out, a person like a Derrick Henry, who should be getting paid bukus of money. Stephen A. said further in the first take how Derrick Henry today has only made $47 million in the 7 years he's been in NFL. And that's crazy. That's just crazy. He should be making more. But I guess to the argument, if he was getting paid more, will he still be the Derrick Henry that we come to know and love? I don't know. Because it seems like if you pay a player, a running back, they kind of take, you know what I'm saying, they tone it down a little bit. But as long as there's money to be made, they're still they're still going to go out there and sacrifice all. I don't know where I stand. And I guess the only thing that makes sense is what Ryan Clark said, that someone suggested to him, that there should be some type of arbitration to where when it comes down to getting a contract, you can hold when it comes down to trying to franchise tag a player, they can take this before arbitration and say, hey, you know what? Let's take a look at, I guess, assuming my production, what I've done, and to see if I'm deserving of more money at that time, or however that falls through. But what's happening now, and what's been happening now, according to the reports that's been out there, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, I think Christian McCaffrey and a few other running backs had like this Zoom call, and they're basically just talking. Now, Ryan Clark stated, and I agree with it, that something's got to come out of this. This just can't just be a phone call or a Zoom call where guys are just sitting around just mad and just whining and complaining. I mean, if they're friends, they're friends. Maybe this is something that they wanted to do for themselves. But the fact that Nick Chubb came out in the press conference and addressed that this would happen, I guess it makes it seem as though there is some action that should be followed up behind the Zoom call. If not, then, I mean, this was nothing more than just a conversation amongst friends, I guess. But what other folks are seeing, well, obviously what Josh Jacobs is doing and what Saquon Barkley is doing is that they're deciding to hold out for more money. Both guys make the top 10 on the running back list, and therefore they're going to try to hold out for more money. I don't think Saquon Barkley have much leverage. I don't know about Josh Jacobs, because right now Saquon Barkley can hold out for all of preseason and all of training camp and not get fined, but he have to go ahead and play a game. And so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to be said about this running back position and why it's been marginalized. But at the end of the day, this came down to a collective bargaining agreement, and this is what the all parties agreed upon. And unfortunately, the running back position got the bad end of the deal. Obviously, probably rightfully so, compared to what we've seen running backs getting paid and how they perform after a big contract. Y'all, it's just sad to see this type of stuff when it comes down to players making their money. But at the end of the day, man, you know, I hope Saquon Barkley get paid. I hope Josh Jacobs get paid, and I hope you know, some of the running backs out there who, when they do come up for contract, like a Nick Chubb and stuff like that, get their money when it's due to them. But that's just my thought. Also, while we're talking about running backs, let me just kind of use this as a segue to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. We all know that the Cowboys last year, Coach McCarthy suggested that they're going to run the ball more, and that was his reason for moving on from Kellen Moore. My question is this, and we can leave it in the comment. Is this a right move for the Cowboys? Is this the answer for the Cowboys to run the ball more? And if it is, what does that mean? Does it mean run the ball 2 more times a game than you did last season? I don't know, because I'm looking at the running back core. Tony Pollard, who obviously made top 10 on the running back list, was still a backup last year, and he's a very small guy. Zeke Elliott was good in blocking. Tony Pollard, not so. Then you're looking at Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, and then Ronald Jones are all going to training camp to see how they're going to fight for that 1, 2, and 3 position. So I don't know if this squad is the answer. There's still people out there like Kareem Hunt. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is out there. I don't think Dalvin Cook should be a Cowboy, but I think Kareem Hunt is someone we should be looking at. But I think sooner rather than later. I don't know. But if they commit to the run, that means something, and it just can't be run. That means there's a fear that Dak may make some bad decisions and have made bad decisions in the past. And this is the reason why they want to go to the running game. And obviously blaming Kellen Moore or just probably a save face type situation. That's just my thoughts from EC22 Fat with a Fan. Like I said, we'll see when football season starts and how much the Cowboys will run and how effective they will be at the run. Moving on from the NFL, they're going on to y'all be prepared for Saturday. This coming Saturday, the fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, something we've been waiting for. I'm still kind of undecided if I'm going to watch the fight tonight, if I'm going to buy the fight, if I'm going to go somewhere and watch it. I don't know. Y'all, this is a fight to me that I can really, really am cool with just getting the highlights the next day or seeing who won whenever I get the news feed from ESPN, from my phone. I just something that I'm just not interested in watching as far as an entertainment situation. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day about where I believe the state of boxing is coming to and reason why I'm not just completely just happy or just enthused when there's a boxing match coming out. But anyway, like I said, this your boy C22. That's all I have for today. Y'all, once again, please, I thank you for watching these videos, and I thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and definitely leave comments. Leave comments, engage in the conversation. It'll help me get more content out there. It'll help the algorithm. But once again, stay tuned for next week. On Tuesday, there will be a cash giveaway. Yes, next Tuesday. But you got to be subscribed to the YouTube channel. So if you're watching this video on Facebook, if you're watching it on Apple or Spotify, if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, listen, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel so you can be a part of this cash giveaway. And it's a simple situation. We'll give the details out Tuesday when it happens, but stay tuned. There will be a cash giveaway on Tuesday. I can't wait to see who win it. It's a one winner type of situation, so we'll see who won the cash giveaway. This your boy C22, Fairweather Fan. We're out. Thank you.